not actually his real name. His birth name was Charles Ludwig Dodgson. The pseudonym Lewis Carroll came about because he took his first name, Charles, and his middle name, Ludwig. He translated them to Latin, flipped them around, and then translated them back into English. And that's how he got the pseudonym Lewis Carroll.
Wow.
So obviously Lewis Carroll's most famous work is Alice in Wonderland. In July of 1862, he was on a picnic with the little girls, so Edith, Lorna, and Alice, where he made up a story about a little girl who fell down a rabbit hole and started to go on these little adventures. Henry Kingsley, who was a novelist at the time, was on a visit to their home, and he happened to pick up the novel, and he read it, and he said, well, this is amazing. You need to publish this. You have to. So after some revision, Carroll published Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in 1865. So by the time of Carroll's death, it was the most popular children's book in all of England. And by 1932, it was actually the most popular and most famous children's book in the entire world. Right before his 66th birthday, Lewis Carroll caught a bad case of influenza and died on January 14, 1898.
They go down to the bridge and bottom, and they row up the river to Bindon on the west side, Rockland, on the railway station.
Check your passport, it's no trick. Take the chapstick, put it on your lips.
I'm going to start by telling you about J.R.R. Tolkien. His real name was John Ronald Reuel Tolkien. Around the time of 1916, the breakout of World War I, both Tolkien and Lewis were enlisted as officers in the British military, and both were sent to the Somme. There is a actually rather haunting quote from this generation called the Lost Generation from Tolkien, saying that one is indeed personally to come under the shadow of war, to feel fully its oppression, but as the years go by, it seems now often forgotten that to be caught in youth by 1914 was no less hideous an experience than to be involved in 1939 and the following years. By 1918, I had but one friend not dead. Lewis, during World War II, helped children by getting them away from London, away from the bombing. Tolkien at this point was inscripted as a code breaker, as someone they could potentially have try and break the German encryptions. After World War II, they both finished out their time at Oxford. Together, Tolkien and Lewis set up many of the fantasy tropes that are still used today, with the invention of elves and dwarves. Their works really helped to establish the modern fantasy genres, and there's a lot more that I could get into there. Both of the series they have are really long, but that is where I have to end it for now.
All right, good job.